step number one. You have to have a vision for your future that inspires you, that makes you, so when you think about it, it just makes you jump out of bed in the morning to really have a life that is far better, far greater than it is today. That's your vision for the future. That's step number one. The second thing is, and this is a big one, and what most people miss, you have to have a strategy, a plan that allows you to achieve your vision. I was on the beach one day in the summer in New York. There's a huge beach, Jones Beach, and it was a hot summer sunny day, and everyone's bitching and moaning because they have to walk about a half a mile to the concession stand. And I'm with my friends, I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I went down here with like some Italian ices and chipwitches and fudgicles, right? Seems like a good idea. I'll sell them for $1 a piece, Next morning, I wake up, I look in the yellow pages, it was back, no internet. I find some ice cream distributor. I take my old beaten up car down there. I go buy a styrofoam cooler, and I load up a cooler with a barrel of Italian ices and chipwitches and fudgicles, Milky Way Snickers, right? Put some dry ice on top. The whole thing loaded up was $22, including the cooler. The cooler was $7, the ice cream was $15, right? I get in my car, drive an hour to the beach. It's like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. I get there. I carry it down there. I walk to the edge of the water, right? And I start yelling, Italian ices, chipwitches, fudgicles, milk. Within 1 hour, I sold out the entire cooler for $125. And I made $100 in 1 hour. And the year was 1978. Back then, minimum wage, I think, was $1.20 an hour. I was made more than my parents that day. I went back with 4 coolers, right? Who wouldn't, right? I got 4 coolers, right? So I loaded them up, went down, sold all those out. Made $400 or $500 my second day. Changed my life. Here's the interesting thing. I told 4 or 5 friends about this. And here's the weird thing. They all went out and did it with me. But only one of them sold more than 1 cooler a day. The other, there's 5 people, 4 would sell 1 cooler and stop. Only one of them would go out like we'd hustle all day long and make these, $500 versus $100 a day. Why is that? Like, why would someone do that? Here, you're young, when none of us have money, and you have this opportunity in your sights where you can make big money and that could change your life. Yet most of them, 80%, stopped with 1 cooler. They were 1 cooler people. Only one of them was a 4 cooler person, right? One of my friends. That comes down to this last element of the sort of what I call the inner game of success. Like, what happens up here between your ears before you ever go out into the world and take action. And that is your standards. Some people, watch how this relates. Some people, they have a really bright vision, a bold vision. It's great, grand vision, right? Amazing, wow, inspiring. But they have low standards. They're not willing to do the work. A champagne vision and beer standards, right? And then you have the other sort of people, those with really high standards, but they lack a vision for the future. They don't have a vision that inspires them. So these are like the workers where they sort of have this champagne standards and a beer vision. It's about having a match between your standards and your vision. And the question always is, well, what should my standards be? It doesn't matter. They should be congruent with your vision. There's no right or wrong answer. How much money, it doesn't matter. You have to have that vision for the future. Number 2, you have to have the strategies to make the vision a reality. But number 3, you have to be able to share that vision with other people, to communicate the vision to people in a way that moves them to take action, to come help you achieve it, that gets them going, gets them pumped. There's a clip of Warren Buffett. It's actually Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. And one young lady asks Buffett a question. And she says, we're going out into the workforce. What can we do to make ourselves more valuable in the workforce? Good question, right? And Warren Buffett looks at her, and I think, okay, he's going to say, study your financial tables, learn how to be an expert on banking, whatever it might be, picking out companies, whatever, right? No. You know what he says? He goes, there's one thing you can do. Go take a course and study communication, sales, persuasion. That's what you're going to do, because that's a skill that they don't teach in college. They don't really teach, right? And it's the most crucial skill out there. In fact, as he says, when I got out of college, Warren Buffett says, I was a terrible communicator. I couldn't sell anything, right? So what did I do? He went out and took a course. Now, back then, the gold standard was Dale Carnegie, right? This is many, many years ago. And he took that course, and he says, it changed my life because it allowed me to go out there and communicate and sell. Because here's the deal. What would Warren Buffett be if he had never taken that course? If he never learned how to close the deal, what would Warren Buffett be today? You know what he'd be? He'd be the most successful money manager in Omaha, Nebraska that nobody ever heard of. When someone like Warren Buffett, who's like the opposite of what you think a salesperson is, right, says that that's the skill. If you want to do one thing to improve your life and really ensure that you get what you want in life, learn how to communicate, learn how to sell, learn how to communicate, learn how to sell, right? Because people